Happy New Year, everyone. Our word for the last 2 weeks to end 2018 and to start 2019 is the word surrender. And I felt when I saw that word that it would be a banner over our year. And it's started out to definitely be that for me. When you think of the word surrender, what do you think of? I think of the white flag and I think of letting go. So what do we let go of? And I have two little stories for you. One involves my mom, and I don't think she would mind me sharing this. When she was a teenager, she was in a car accident. And to this day, decades and decades and decades and decades later, when you're in the car with my mom, she is braced for an accident. She can never really just relax and enjoy a car ride. And I know she wishes she could, but that memory left a mark on her. It's easy to talk about other people, right? But I was reminded recently because I went through a challenging time where I had a lot of responsibilities on my plate and a lot of travel, and I was sort of out of my groove and out of my element. And when I don't get to be in my comfort zone of taking my few minutes in the morning to meditate, or sleeping in my own bed, or eating my own food and breathing in my own state, I get a little off kilter. And when I get off kilter, I get fearful. When I get fearful, I continue to let thoughts in my head lodge, and those thoughts create actions. That's sort of how it works for all of us. And it's my lifelong quest to mitigate those negative thoughts and embrace the ones that say everything's always working out for me. And remembering that I am connected to Source, and Source has my back and my front and my side and blah, 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 and all that. And, sometimes you still screw up. And I was entertaining thoughts preemptively. Like, Mark Twain said, I went through some terrible things, and some of them actually happened. Half of the things that torment us aren't even real. They're just lodged between our brain, our ears, between our brain. I say all that to say this. Just like my mom being in a car accident to this day affects her ability to drive in a car, I have to go back to a point in my life where loss marked me deeply. And so it has me braced for loss, almost to the point where I preemptively want to cut things off because I don't want to get hurt. That loss, as you know, if you've listened to this blog for any amount of time, or if you know me at all, it goes back to my dad. When my dad died suddenly in 1974 without any warning. He was not sick, and one day my life was secure, and the next day everything was upended and changed. And you would think 45 years later I would be done with that groove in my soul. And yet my dear friend Anita, who knows me well, was able to connect the dots with some recent torments and said, do you think this might go back to that loss? Being able to even just identify it is so helpful. And so when we consider this word surrender for the year 2019, may we also consider letting go once and for all of those wounds that created grooves in our soul that cause us to preemptively strike and pinch off love in our lives. I'm looking forward to new levels of healing, new revelations that lead to release, and take a moment to identify what yet torments you from your past that's trying to carve out your future. Because we all have the opportunity to choose yes or no and create a new path based in love and not fear, which is my goal for the year. I wish for all of you that healing and freedom that comes from truly letting go of the past. So let's look at what the first new word of 2019 holds for us. And I'm saying a prayer for all of us, universe, source, angels, even Dad, I'm going to ask you to guide my fingers. I believe those that have departed are helpers and watching out over us. And the new word. I'm just so grateful. You guys, guess what? The new word is humor. So as you're doing your internal work, don't forget to be playful about it. In fact, it's in the playing and the fun of life that we have some of our sweetest revelations. It doesn't have to be a painful exercise. It can just be an aha moment. And then move on and find the laughter and levity in life. I read once where a person who can't laugh at themselves has an ego problem. And so when we screw up, let's laugh. It's not the end of the world. Make fun, make laughter, play, find the humor, see a funny movie, and the joy in life. Ah, that's the sweetness of every day. Isn't it nice? I asked my dad to help me guide my fingers and pick us a word, and I can hear him and sense him saying, Brenda, lighten up. It's all okay. And don't look at it as time lost. No, it's not lost. Starting right now, it's time to giggle, folks. Have a wonderful 2 weeks.